A woman wrote me today and said, "The weeds in my food forest are so disheartening. What should I do?" And I said, well, it just gets this way. That's what the end of summer looks like. Here's my herb garden. It is out of control. And you saw me putting this in the spring and all the careful work we did in the winter. It is really, really nuts. Yeah, there's some plants in there that we probably should free up. But it's permaculture. Look at this. This is intense. This is just out of control. And that's what it looks like when you have a long summer and you're growing these semi-tropical plants. Or tropical plants. Here, take a look at my incredible, weedy, overgrown cattle panel trellises. Look at this. I didn't plant that pumpkin. It's eating my cassava. I didn't even plant it. It just showed up. You want to see the nice tilled row garden? Here it is. Look at this. Look at this. What is this mess? I didn't plant any of this. Doesn't it look like the tropics? It reminds me of being in the Caribbean. So there were some sweet potatoes left over from this last year that were still in the ground here. They grew all over. I had some peppers out here. The peppers are gone. They're buried in there somewhere. Sweet potatoes came back, took the area over, but not only that. The velvet beans, extremely good nitrogen fixer. We had a trellis of them out here, and some of the beans fell on the ground and ended up growing themselves. And then there are pumpkins all through here. And we didn't plant pumpkins at all. I literally planted no pumpkins in my gardens this year. I planted the zombie pumpkin seeds way out in the field, but in the gardens, no pumpkins. Look at this. Now you could say, oh, this is terrible. What are you going to do? It's insane. How can you function? I just call this a regular summer. We basically build insane tropical rainforest situations. And that's just the way it is. It's not a big deal. Look at this. Here's something I didn't plant. See that pumpkin? That is a cross between a Caribbean pumpkin and a Seminole pumpkin. I did not plant it. This is what our Seminole pumpkins out here look like now. It's epic. The ones we've eaten so far taste really, really good. I didn't plant that. There's probably hundreds of pounds of food out here that I didn't plant. So now there are some problems that we should take care of. Like, you know, we have our row of apples. That's supposed to be right here. And you can see the yams and the pumpkins have eaten it. We got busy with other things and got away from us a little bit. Pretty much does every year. Let's walk through this grocery row. I'll show you. We did manage to get most of our trees pruned down this year. This one right here is the white ivory. I did not cut this one back this year because we were doing a lot of air layers and cuttings on it. We've taken some off of there. I really need to cut it, but I'm just going to wait until spring because it's getting a little late in the year. I don't want to stimulate it to grow back now. I've got to free up all these apples. This is a mulberry right here, covered with pumpkins. This mulberry we cut back. It's at the right height. Remember summer pruning to reduce vigor. That's what we were doing. We've got our figs in here. The figs actually froze down to the ground this last year. We've gotten figs off of this one. I think it's some sort of a brown turkey or a Celeste. plum tree got pruned, but you can see it's got grapevines growing over it. The grapevines have gotten out of control. I'm gonna just cross this bed over here and show you. I've decided that putting grapevines on a cattle panel is not the best. One cattle panel just doesn't cut it. These are those delicious bronze muscadines, but it's too dense in here. There's a grapevine that comes up down there, and there's a grapevine right there, and it is entirely too much. It's too jammed in. They're not getting the space that they need. They should be further out. So I'm not going to do this one cattle panel grapevine stuff anymore. I'm not sure what I'll do with that grape, but I may just cut it back and give it a more reasonable trellis. This is where I was trying to prune and create a grape tree by running it up one post. And of course it's super vigorous. It's not really acting amenable to that. I need a stronger one. Look at these sugarcane in here. This is the third year of these sugarcane coming back. Pruned this mulberry, and you can see it's already very tall again. Let's come through here. Got some Jerusalem artichokes. And then we have these. These are a problem. It's railroad vine. They're really invasive. So we're getting in here and eating my peppers. These are fish pepper. It's a really pretty variegated form of pepper. Come back here. All right, this tree was pruned back appropriately, and we took lots of cuttings off of it. And I want to show you here, this is the seedling nectarine. Everybody said, "You're going to murder that tree. I can't believe you're doing that." Well, look at it. It's fine, okay? Yeah, I came out here with a sawzall and I pruned it. I had people getting on my case about it. It couldn't stay 20 feet tall. So we pruned it at the right time. We reduced the vigor. Yeah, it shocked the tree, I'm sure, but you don't need a gigantic, gigantic tree in here. Now we have a smaller, manageable tree. It will harden up. And in the spring, we can take out some of those middle branches and kind of restore the vase shape. But right now, it's perfect. Totally fine. Yeah, it lived. These beautiful sugarcane here are also in their third year. If you plant sugarcane, and you're in climates probably zone 7 and all the way to the equator, it usually comes back from the ground year after year. We're getting into the time of year to plant it. If you're interested in getting some sugarcane of your own, my daughter sells it in her Etsy store. A nice red molasses variety. It's just a really good all-around delicious sweet sugarcane. Fig is looking good, but it's sprawling out into the pathway. One of the great things that I don't think I've talked enough about with our permaculture gardens, our food forest, and our grocery row garden is we propagate a lot of the plants out of here, and my daughter is able to sell the seeds, and I'm able to sell plants that I start in a plant nursery, and it's become a nice little side business. I'm going to show you something right here. See this little guy? There is a girl at our church who catches lizards, and I asked her if she could get some lizards for us because our anole population was extremely low, and to the point where I never saw any, even though I know that they live in this area. And she caught me about 10 lizards, and I released them a year ago, and now we have them everywhere. They got together and had some babies, and now we have little baby lizards all over, and I'm very happy. It's natural pest control. Okay, so what we have here This giant sword bean. I didn't plant these either. There were some seeds left in the ground from last year. We also have the Chinese yam bulbils all over, as I call them, the tater tot plant. They are growing in here, mixed in with Apios americana, the American groundnut, which has now invaded our gardens as well. A productive and tasty native root. Yeah, the initial planning stage of this and putting it together is over, and now it's just what is going on. Nature has just taken over, and there is an awesome mess of species that just want to be in here. And I've kind of seemed to have lost control, like this. This is a symbol right here of losing total control. What does the black pumpkin mean in the movie about David the Good? The black pumpkin hanging from a tree in the movie about David the Good represents chaos and losing control. It is at the point that he sees it that he realizes he has no control over his gardens anymore. And that's when he breaks into a monologue about no longer having control over his gardens anymore. And that is what the black pumpkin means in the movie about David the Good. There's also a symbolism in stepping under the black pumpkin. Okay, one sad looking Honeycrisp apple. Honeycrisp is not really supposed to grow here, but I mean, it hasn't died yet. It's gonna get eaten by pumpkins. Look at, what's this, kids? I didn't plant that. I didn't plant any pumpkins. I don't want pumpkins in here. They're out of control. Absolutely ridiculously out of control. So if you think your weeds are a problem, look at what we have to deal with. Look at this. Some of this stuff just wasn't filled in enough in the spring, and so we're getting these kinds of crazy patches of weeds. But what we got to do is just come out here with some cardboard, wait until that first frost, everything freezes down, starts to die back. We come out here with some cardboard and we smash it all. We remulch the pathways. We ran out of mulch this spring. That was a big part of the problem. If you have any bare soil, you end up with problems. Flying Dragon Trifoliate Orange. Really cool looking. Very cold hardy citrus. Not particularly worth eating. Nice looking sugarcane. I'm not sure what variety this particular one is. It's green and red. It has kind of green patches on it, paler patches with darker patches. It's like green with a red blush. It's turmeric. American groundnut. Look at this big old turmeric right here. It's as tall as I am. Turmeric is very easy to grow. Extremely easy. I divided out this vetiver grass the other day. This was about 8 foot tall, this clump, and we took a huge amount of the clump out right here. We used our handy dandy meadow creature broad fork, dug this clump out, divided it up for the plant nursery, and we put it back to grow again. Pretty outrageous, guys. I mean, this is just awesome. Out of control. This is the Rachel mulberry, which I named after my wife. It really needs to be cut back. I took a lot of cuttings off it, and we're just going to wait until spring. Sometimes, too, if you get to this time of year and you're like, oh man, my tree has yellow leaves. It looks like it's dying. I don't know why my apple tree has spots on the leaves. What do I treat it with? Stop asking those questions. This is fall. Things are going to sleep. The leaves are old. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't get nervous. Really, don't get nervous. I get emails this time of year. Oh, my mulberry tree has this and that. My apple leaf has spots and whatever. Don't worry about it. It's the end of the year. Those trees, those leaves are senescent. That's your term for the day. The leaves are senescent. It means they're old. It's time. It's time for them to go. This is kind of fun. Let's just walk backwards through the bananas. That's Musa Bazju, the Japanese fiber banana. Doesn't really make edible fruit, but it is very, very cold hardy, and it's a good chop and drop. And I just like the way bananas look, so I planted them in here. I'll show you another one here. This is the beautiful butterfly ginger. I thought that this was galangal because the lady that gave it to me said it was galangal ginger, but now it has bloomed. It smells amazing. It smells like jasmine. Can you smell it? Man, it smells so nice. But it ended up blooming, and I was like, this is butterfly ginger. There are so many spiders out here. I keep running through spider webs. See that spider right there? Focus. I love these guys. My kids call them smiley face spiders because their abdomen looks like a smiley face. They've got this, one looks like 2 red dots of eyes and a smiling mouth. Coming back down Mulberry Lane here. There's just a whole bunch of mulberries. They did get cut back, but you'd never know it. It's ridiculous how tall they get. This is arrowroot right here. That is a good edible. Looks like it could just be a landscape plant, but you can eat it. Kind of useful. Oh, I wanted to show you one other thing. I walked right past it. This is the chestnut that I'm training. I wanted to prune this one to make it just go straight up, and that way the shade is not as dense. It's looking pretty good. It is at least 12 foot tall now, and we've just been, you know, pruning all the lower ones so we can grow around it, and it's big. Just an experiment. You know, a lot of them were doing the grow a little fruit tree kind of method, and that one we decided to just make a big pole up in the air. Isn't this wild? That is a garden, man. I'll show you one more thing here. Okay, so first of all, we've got velvet beans that are growing on this grafted pear. This is the Bradford pear we grafted this spring. There's the root stock. This is the graft. It is an epic tall graft. This is a Kiefer pear grafted onto a invasive seedling Bradford pear, and it is going to heal this whole thing into a knot. Look at this. It's taller than I am by 2 feet, 8 feet. So about 7 feet of growth from the graft, one season. That is why if you have a rootstock of something in the yard, don't just dig it out. You got something bitter, nasty, whatever, crabapple, you know, graft something useful on top of it and take advantage of that existing root system, because when it starts pumping up sap from the base, it's wild how fast it grows. You got an established root system, you're all set. Just go with it. Somewhere in here I probably have some more peppers. We've got Everglades tomatoes all over the place. Look at these pumpkins, these are insane. Unplanted. The pumpkin story. It's ridiculous. We won't even know how many pumpkins we got until these start to die back a little bit. Another trick is that you can come out on a really hot, dry, sunny day, and all the leaves will be wilted, and you can figure out where the pumpkins are, because it's hard to find the pumpkins underneath all these leaves. I know there's pumpkins in here. Look at this. The pumpkins just keep going, guys. forever. The pumpkins went on forever. A memoir by David the Good. Look at this. There's one right there. There's a pumpkin I didn't plant. End up with my hands full walking around out here. That one still has its proper Seminole pumpkin genetics, at least exteriorly. Inside, those seeds are probably crossed with some warty, insane, crazy, tropical thing. Here, look at this. Here's another one. That's tropical Caribbean genetics right there. That's why that Seminole looks like that. This one looks like this. Interestingly though, the crosses tasted better than either of the parents, but it's only F1, so we don't know yet. Now this mess over here, this is jelly melons. I don't know that they're actually making any melons that I see this year, but we planted them last year out here on the compost pile as a test to see if we liked them, and nobody really liked them all that much. But they're back. I think we made it invasive. It's so much fun. We just need to get pigs again so we can feed them the jelly melons. Look at this. That right there, that's the yams. Trellises collapsed and I dug what I thought I dug all the yams out of there, but there were obviously some left. So we're gonna get a bunch more yams out of those trellises this next season. We'll just dig them up actually sometime in the late fall. See what we got. Free food. Yeah, this is just nuts. This is the abandoned edge where the dog fennel roams. And I think with that, this video is going to end. Or maybe not, because I just came across this massive pumpkin right here. Here's the little Seminole. Look at side by side. I didn't plant this, remember. That thing. It's ready too. That's epic. So freaky. So yeah, it's a little bit crazy, but I think that's part of the excitement of food foresting and grocery gardening. It's the unexpected surprises. It's the weird pumpkins. It's the, I don't remember planting that. I mean, that's part of the fun for me. And we can regain control after the summer and chop things back and put down mulch and sheet compost or whatever else we want to do. But right now, I don't know, I kind of enjoy the adventure. I feel like if you could barely get through your garden without a machete, life is happy. If you want to join the Food Forest Challenge over in my school group, we're trying to get at least 10 people to plant their first food forest by October 31st. That's first food forest by Halloween. If you want to come join, I've got my videos over there. We've got an active community. We're encouraging each other to get over the finish line. I've got a challenge on what you need to do to plant a food forest. Just a small food forest. A certain amount of trees, certain amount of shrubs, certain amount of perennials. Roll. Let's roll. So that's what we're doing right now. The Food Forest Challenge. We had a lot of fun with it last fall. We got over 50 people to plant their first food forest. So we're doing that again. The Food Forest Challenge, and I'll put a link to that below. Catch you all next time. And until then, may your thumbs always be green. The black pumpkin hanging from a tree in the movie about David the Good represents chaos.